Reading from Mark's account of the Gospel in the 11th chapter. When they were approaching Jerusalem at Bethphage and Bethany near the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the village ahead of you, and immediately as you enter it, you will find there tied a colt who has never been ridden. Untie it and bring it. If anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' just say, 'The Lord needs it,' and we'll send it back here immediately." They went away and found a colt tied near a door outside in the street. As they were untying it, some of the bystanders said to them, "Why are you untying the colt?" They told them what Jesus had said, and they allowed them to take it. Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they had cut in the field. Then those who went ahead and those who followed were shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our ancestor David. Hosanna in the highest." Then he entered Jerusalem and went to the temple. And when he had looked around at everything, as it was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12. This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
In the spring of the year 30, between 30 and 33, depending on how you count, there were two processions arriving in Jerusalem, some scholars believe on the same day. From the west came Pontius Pilate at the head of a column of legionnaires from the 12th Legion, which was headquartered at Caesarea Maritime on the coast, south of modern-day Haifa. Pilate had his headquarters, his seat of office, on the coast because it was cooler. It was a modern city by their standards. And, well, because nobody in their right mind, certainly not a Roman, wanted to hang around in a provincial backwater part of the empire, and Jerusalem was that. Now, we think Jerusalem, wow, the city of God, the city of David. But if you're a Roman, it wasn't all that. And so Pilate left Jerusalem to the Jews, except at times like Passover, the holiest day in the Jewish year. It's not that Pilate was devout or particularly religious. We really don't know which of the Roman gods or goddesses he worshipped, if he did at all. But he knew that if there was ever a problem among the Jews and in their city, it would be on Passover. Because Passover was about liberation. Liberation from the Egyptians, the mightiest empire of its time. Over the centuries, the Jews had been subjugated by one empire after another. But finally, it was the Romans' turn. And so, at the head of a column, we're not sure exactly which cohort it was, but approximately 800 to 1,000 troops had made the 60-mile journey, carrying between 60 to 100 pounds of equipment each. 800 of those, approximately 1,000, 800 to 1,000, would have been legionnaires. The rest would have been auxiliary troops, cooks, and so on. I want you to imagine for a moment what that sight must have been like on that day, on that spring day in Jerusalem. I mean, here comes Pilate on a horse in full regalia. I mean, he looked the part. I don't know if you've ever seen an important politician. Some of them just kind of look like Tip O'Neill. Yeah. Some look like George Washington. Okay. I want you to imagine George Washington in a toga. You got that image? All right. Behind Pilate, or actually in front of Pilate, would have been a legionnaire carrying a giant pole. And on top of it was the imperial eagle in gold. I mean, glinting in the sun, almost blinding. And you heard big guys pounding on drums. There may have even been, those weird trumpets that look like sousaphones on a diet. I'm just full of imagery today. I hope you're keeping all this straight. All right. So, it looks impressive, and that was the point. It was designed to awe you. This wasn't just, hey, we didn't have anything better to do, so we thought we'd come to Jerusalem to see what you guys are doing. No. This was an imperial procession. It had one purpose, and that was to remind you who was in charge. And they looked good. But each of those legionnaires carried weapons, and they were really good at using them. Just in case you thought this whole Passover thing was about liberation, let's just remind you that your liberation is at our hand. We can take it away or we can give it. We're here to show you who's in charge. And you can hear the clank of equipment, the shuffling of feet, the dust being kicked up. Boy, they look good. Now imagine you're one of the legionnaires. You've been walking for nearly a week, carrying all this stuff. And you show up, and instead of, confetti and, pretty girls tossing flowers at your feet, you saw maybe hatred in the eyes of everyone you passed, or fear. But you didn't see anyone's, gosh, the legions are here. That's not the kind of welcome that you were hoping for. Well, no, that's not true. You can hope, but you knew that you weren't going to get it. So that's what was coming in from the west. From the east, there was another procession. Not a leader at the head of a column of military might, but a king who had made the journey, the 100-mile journey from Galilee down the Jordan Valley and coming up from the east, was a rabbi from the backwater of the empire. A rabbi who had been teaching and explaining about the love of God for all people. For 3 years he had been doing this, and he had developed a bit of a reputation. I think some saw him as a miracle worker. He healed people. He raised people from the dead. Some had even said he had walked on water. Others said He fed 5,000 people. With how many loaves? 5. Okay, 5. Thank you. How many fish? 2. Depending on which gospel account you read. So this is the trick. But the point was, it was pretty cool. I mean, this guy can get stuff done. And he had attracted not just 12,